I'm looking forward to Big Blue this weekend, man. We're looking forward to it.
Let's start there though, because if you are a Giant fan, last night was discouraging from this standpoint. If the expectation was that because of the Micah Parsons trade, the Eagles were or the Cowboys were going to fall off a cliff, then that expectation was not met, and damn, does that offense look really good. So the Eagles, we know, far and away are the best team in this division. Washington, while I think they'll take a step back, they're still a team that went to the championship game last year. Jaden Daniels, he's going to cook. The Cowboys, like the obituaries that have been written on them, might have been too premature. So that is a nasty, nasty division if you're the Giants. And oh, by the way, you're playing the AFC West and the NFC North this year. So that's three of the toughest divisions in football.
Yeah, no question, man. But do we really need to get hype on the Cowboys time? We say this every year. The offense, and Dak looks fantastic, and the offensive line, and this receiver, that receiver, and then in the end, they turn into the Cowboys, man.
But it's less about being hype about the Cowboys and their ceiling. Like, I'm not predicting they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
All I'm saying is if you're a Giant fan that was expecting, okay, we could make some noise in this division, a lot of that had to do with what we were seeing from the other teams. Step back from Washington, the Parsons trade. I saw a Cowboys team last night that looks like we're not gonna lose 2 straight games. And by the way, week 2 they play the Giants. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not getting hype over Dallas. I'm just saying that the Giant fans got to be watching that game like, oh boy, they don't look like they took that too much of a step back.
Yeah. Well, what are you? I'm laughing at a lot of people in the chat because a lot of times you're on radio. A lot of people in the chat say, "Man, this is the first time I'm seeing what Ty Butler looks like, man." So you got a lot of fans in the chat, man, and it's good to see you making your way out of the radio sphere into the video side of the house, man.
I love it, man, and I appreciate you for bringing me on the show. Real quick, because I know you got some questions you're gonna ask me.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man CP. Been an admirer of your work. And as you mentioned, I brought you on the show a couple times. I'm loving the vibe that you got here. The Knicks fans cooking up a month before the season starts. I appreciate you bringing me on the show. And big up to all the people in the chat, man. Love y'all.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know what? Because I did definitely want to talk some Giants, but just give me your overall thoughts on the Knicks. We just had Howard Beck on the show, and we were talking about some of the expectations with this team. What are you thinking in terms of the Knicks this year?
Well, I'm excited, but I'm also, and I'm not a Knicks fan, but, sharing a space with a lot of Knicks fans who, always come into the year hungry. I have a little bit of this thought in my mind. I wonder how they deal with being in a place they've never been in before, and that is being the hunted. Because think about what the conversation about this team was the last couple years. 2 years ago, it was about Boston. Last year was about Boston and all the great teams, their record against the great teams. Could they overtake them? And obviously they beat the Celtics last year, fell to Indiana in the playoffs. But this year, they come in favorites in the Eastern Conference, right? We're talking, Zach Lowe in his podcast the other day said something I thought was interesting. He's like, highest expectations for a Knicks team since the Ewing days, to the point where it's like they don't get to the finals. That is a massive disappointment. So I'm feeling the energy. I'll be at the games. I'll talk to the fans. But I'm interested to see how this specific team with a brand new head coach deals with the expectations that are at a heightened level, none of which we've seen in a quarter century. But I'm excited, man. Should be a fun year.
Yeah, you are absolutely right on that, sir. We just had Howard Beck on the show, and he talked about that. I did as well. Everybody's under the gun. From top down, from Dolan to Leon, from making the decision about the coach, to the coach in Mike Brown, to the players, Brunson, Towns, Mikal Bridges now got his extension. Everybody is under the gun, and this is new territory for this team and for this fan base, man. I'm very excited about it.
Brand new territory, and also what Mike Brown is going to bring, right? Like, if we get into, the minutia of it, is his offense is different. The Knicks were one of the slowest paced teams last year. He wants to push that tempo, increase the pace. So maybe there is an element of they get out the gate and it doesn't look as good as it's going to be. There are some initial struggles. But I'm excited, man. There's a different energy when this team is really, really good. There's a different atmosphere. I remember what's the game? It was the Celtics series, the Saturday game. I think it was game 4 that
4.
It was, yeah, because it was the Tatum,
Trying to think which
Tatum
one.
Injury game.
What was Tatum
Yeah.
injury? That was 4. That was 4.
It was the Saturday game where it's like afternoon, city's lit. There's a million things you could do, but I'm coming across watch parties like that. Vibrancy, that energy is what I come to appreciate about this fan base. So figuring this is what we're gonna get for an entire season, I'm excited because, like I said, the Knicks are the hunted.
No question about it. Now, as it relates to the Big Blue, the football giants, man, and you've been doing some great work with our guy Jake Asman and a number of guys over there at ESPN Radio who I respect a lot. Shout out to Jake. He's going to be joining us just a little bit later today to talk Jets. From Big Blue, man, everything that you've seen from training camp all the way through the preseason, what are you some of the storylines that you're looking forward to heading into the season?
Well, obviously, the biggest storyline is one that we're hoping we don't get for a while, and that's Jackson Dart, because he was mighty impressive throughout the preseason. The reason why I say we're not hoping to get that for a while is because if we see him at any point the first month and a half, it means this season has gone up in smokes. It is a disaster. So, best thing for the young kid to get into his own groove and to acclimate himself, I think, is to have a situation where he's brought into late in the season where there's like the minimal amount of pressure. But as far as, he's concerned, that's the case. Abdul Carter, like we keep hearing about his explosiveness, how he's going to help elevate this defense. That Giant defense this year is on paper expected to be special. So we're going to get a full look at that on Sunday. That's what I'm excited about. Brian Daboll was the coach of the year a couple seasons ago. Was that a fluke, or was that something that we can grow to expect him to be in that, in that realm? So as far as the defense, the coaching, what are you getting from Russell Wilson, who last 5 games of the season last year with the Steelers couldn't put up more than 17 points a game? I think those are the 3 phases that I'm focused on early in the year because, CP, man, it's a tough schedule, bro. You've got
Brutal.
Washington, Dallas, Kansas City, Chargers. Now, New Orleans in week 5. Little bit of a soft landing spot, but right after that, it's the Eagles, it's the Niners, like you got a bunch of tough games on this slate for the Giants, so it could get ugly early, or they could do something like shock the world. I don't mean shock the world like win the Super Bowl. Shock the world like get off to a 3-3 start. Like, is that too much to ask?
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's fair, man. It's certainly fair. I mean, if I can tackle those in a couple of instances, I was very impressed with Dart in the preseason. Not going to try to get too hyped over it, but he just seemed like he's got the moxie, he's got the poise, and Daboll is very much invested in him. And again, just because the bar was set so low with Daniel Jones, and not to kick him on the way out, but man, it just went from average to terrible over his stint. Just seeing some more life in a quarterback arm, that was good to see. And look, I'm with the Russell Wilson experiment. I want to see Wilson with Neighbors and see what he does on the Daboll's offense. I want to see what Russ could do with this team. He's going to take his lumps. He's going to fill that Kurt Warner mentor caretaker role that he played with Eli. And then, we will eventually, once the schedule kind of humbles these guys and we put the blame on Russ, we'll see Dart start to come in because the pressure is going to mount for him to be in there. So I think that side of the house is going to be very interesting. Abdul Carter, I said it on my show a couple weeks ago. They didn't really unleash him that much in the preseason. He was limited in certain spots. So now I want to see what's up. I was kind of over all the antics and the talking and all the yapping and this, that, and the third, and give me LT's number. Now, I want to see, can you get a sack on your first day? Let's just start with the basics. Before you put yourself in the Hall of Fame, I want to see Abdul Carter get busy out there.
And it's funny you say that because early on, he's going to be licking his chops. He'll have his opportunity. Jaden Daniels chasing him around.
Yeah.
As you know, we saw Dak was phenomenal last night, chasing him around in week 2. Patrick Mahomes in week 3. Justin Herbert. So you're gonna face that litmus test early. You're gonna get an opportunity to see these young quarterbacks and some veterans in there. Well, Abdul Carter can chase them. But that defensive line, man, scary. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon, who is in a little bit of a tricky situation because of his fifth-year option situation. Does he get moved at the deadline? Is he a trade chip? But you're gonna see that early, man. And that is what is most. If you're a Giant fan, that's how you blueprint a season that you stumble upon more wins than expected. That defense is awesome, led by that line that is going to get after the quarterback, similar to what we saw in 2016. The offense doesn't have to be, the greatest show on turf. Yeah. Can Russell Wilson, as he ushers in his age 37 season, can he just be a little bit better than average? Can he look a little bit more mobile than he did the last month and a half at the Steelers? And then, as I mentioned, Dable with his coaching. Like that 2022 year, no one expected that. Now, the schedule, we can compare schedules. This one is, night and day. But that's what the Giants need. And I actually, how about this, CP? I've said this for a month and a half. They're going to win on Sunday. Yeah. I think they're going to win this game on Sunday.
Why not? There ain't no reason to be scared of the Commanders. No reason to be scared of them.
I think they're going to win Sunday. They've had Washington's number historically. Yeah. Should have beaten them 2 times last year. And it's the first game of the year where we know upsets happen all the time. Right. We saw the Bengals lose to the Patriots. That's why, for all the gamblers out there, you did the DraftKings read. It's the toughest week to bet because so many bizarre things happen. No one plays in the preseason. So I think they'll pull the upset in Washington this Sunday. Give me that.
One thing I don't like the receivers, man. I haven't liked this Giants receiving core in probably 5 years. I love Neighbors. His ticky-tack injuries are bothering me. I like Wandell, what he can bring. I think the rest are terrible. I think Darius Slayton should have been going off this team for about the last 3 years. He'll give you one miraculous catch, and he'll drop several in the breadbasket. They don't have that big threat receiver, big target receiver. The Neighbors is Mr. Everything. But they don't have that big target receiver. I'm just not enthusiastic about this receiving core, man. Your thoughts?
And our Neighbors is showing. I don't know if you saw this showing up on the injury report. He's got a little bit of a back issue. But
first it was a toe, now it's the back.
Yeah,
tricky.
But here's the thing: Neighbors is so good, he can win you a game by himself.
Yes,
quite literally win you a game by himself. I'm with you as far as big picture. Do they have enough weapons to have a sustained, excellent, or dare I just say, better than average offense over a year? I don't think so. But that's where the running game is going to come into play. That's where you're going to see them trying to lean on that running game. And Russell Wilson is known for making those, big time throws, like the air it out yards, which is what you didn't have last year. So again, can they score 20 points? If the defense is as good as everyone says it's going to be, shouldn't it just take 20-ish points, 21, 22, 23? That's the ballpark you got to be in.
There we go, man. Well, what's your schedule as it relates to this weekend on ESPN, man? How's your schedule looking?
All right, so I'm on TV tonight. I'm on SNY tonight after the Met game. ESPN Radio, I'll be on following Gary Myers. I'll be on 3 to 6 p.m. leading into the Met game. So we'll be covering it all. We'll talk some Jets. We'll talk some Giants. And I'm excited, man. Week 1 of the NFL season, basketball right around the corner, in the midst of baseball. This is the busiest time of the year, so I'm excited, bro.
No question, man. What are you talking tonight on SNY? Baseball? More baseball?
Yeah, tonight I'll definitely recap the game. Big start for David Peterson and the Mets, and then they might throw another segment at me. We might go football. So we'll see. But definitely that A block will hit on baseball.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, man. Well, listen, man, this was your debut here on KnicksFanTV. We're definitely going to spin the block, man, and make sure that you're back here as a regular over the course of the football. Maybe we'll make this a regular Football Friday segment, man. Maybe we'll have to do that, man.
Yo, listen, I'm down, bro. I'm here, baby. Yeah. I'm here. Let's do it.
There we go. Let the people know where they can find you, too, man, on Twitter and social media.
Yo, hit me up on X, Ty D Butler, Instagram as well. We're getting that YouTube page popping. Ty D Butler, TYDBUTLER. So shout out to you guys for listening. I see y'all in the chat. That's why you keep seeing me looking down. Appreciate it. Yes, I'm a huge Yankees fan. Jets is my team. I know you're gonna talk to Jake about that later.
Yep.
And then of course I saw somebody in the chat talking about the Lakers. But let's do it, man. Should be
Yes,
a good
sir.
time.
There we go. Ty, enjoy the weekend, man. Pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely, bro. Holla at me.
All right. That was Ty Butler, ESPN's Ty Butler, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, wanted the content. I'm giving you out the content. Doubleheader episode of Knicks Fan TV live today on this glorious, glorious Football Friday. Beautiful weather out here in New York. Hope everybody in the chat is doing well. And that you guys have good weekend plans. Vega, I see, appreciate it, man. Anthony D, Jets. Okay, so we know the team that he's rocking with. Junior Caroma, we know your team. Salute. Chris Shaw, Giants Commanders game will be heated. Yeah, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. I'm hype. I'm always enthusiastic the first 3 weeks of the Giants season. No matter who they have and their expectations, I'm always just hyped to just get football underway and, rock with my team and look out for the unexpected win. I'm always here for that. I watch, pretty much all the Giants seasons, even when they're not expected to do much. So, shout out to my team. And yeah, I'll wait for the Dart era to start. But I am very enthusiastic about what's going to happen there. All right, so there that is. But listen, man, when it comes to Giants or Jets tickets and you're looking for a discount, use our code KFTV10 at SeatGeek, the #1 rated ticketing app, and the official ticketing app of KnicksFanTV is back for another season. Go to SeatGeek.com or use the SeatGeek app to get your tickets. And as I said, if you haven't used the code before, you can also use KFTV as the code and you'll get $20 off, or you could use KFTV10 to get 10% off your deal. All right, and as it relates to SeatGeek, make sure that when you're looking for the deals, look for the green dots. Green means great, amazing to good deals, and the red dots, you should probably stay away from those unless you're really desperate to get into the building. It's pretty easy layout, and quickly you can get your transaction done, man, with our guys at SeatGeek. So once again, the code is KFTV10. You could also try the code KFTV to get some savings, man. These ticket prices are going up through the roof. They're skyrocketing. Next season prices are coming out now, and yeah, they're looking pretty pricey as well. So make sure you use our code at SeatGeek.